Hello everyone, I'm Lisa Wind. I've just flown in. And today we are back with more Seduce Me 2, The Demon Wars. Last time, Sam was tested. He passed. Yay. Then was tested again in a very disturbing way with Diana and Sarah, and I don't think I like the dragon that's testing us because of that. Also, Happy Naked Fun Time happened. Yay! Anyway, if this is your first time watching the videos, hello, welcome to my channel. I do recommend starting, if you're interested in seeing all dialogue, starting from the beginning of Sam's path and work your way till here, because I will be using the skip button a lot if it's content I've already covered. My apologies, but my time is kind of limited right now. Also, my apologies for sound quality. It is summer here in Sweden and it is so freaking hot. So I pretty much have to have the fans on while I'm doing recording. Unfortunately, my mic is good, really good actually, and it ends up picking them up. I will do my best to edit around them, but it is what it is. It's either I record nothing until fall, or, you know, I try to make do with what I have. It's unfortunate. Anyway, let's dive back in, shall we? However, as I awoke, I was happily in the arms of the man I loved. Despite the tired fog over my vision, I could sense that the man who was holding me was the true Sam. The way he held me gave it all away. Although, you know, last time when Diana took on my form, it was pretty obvious. She looked a lot like me. Oh well. Skip buttons here. Yay! My one true love. And Diana's here, and it's time to go do her test. And before, how about a kiss for luck? I was happy to know that Sam believed in me and supported me. I gave him a loving peck on the lips, causing him to stare wide-eyed with a blush. I had to giggle at the sight while Diana rolled her eyes and let out a groan. Hey, you can make out your guard all you want, and I'm happy. Diana, however, looked to the fireplace. Oh yeah, where her dragon's been hiding out and, you know, peeping on us. Creepy dragon. Let's go. Sam, put on a shirt, let's go. And we... Alright, we couldn't take our test until nighttime, so we trained, and then we walked around. And, you know, we spied on the other two incubi brothers and their wives, and it's so friggin' sweet and mwah. But now it is test time. We have walked into the room. There are things on the table. I recognize these things. These are things for a demon marriage ritual. That was it. It had to have been it. Why else would Sam react so strangely? It had been on his mind. Really? That was it. It had to have been it. Why else would Sam react so strangely? It had to have been on his mind, and now it was staring me dead in the face. Diana nodded, gesturing to the flowers.
This is a marriage ritual.
Cool.
Freshly blossomed flowers, holding peak-worthy magical essence, arranged in a magic circle, are part of what a binding ritual needs to happen.
Okay. Cool. Part? Diana nodded and looked at the table.
The other part is a precious item forged between two souls to bind them together.
Okay. Cool. Also, skip buttons here, so... If you're interested in seeing this, go back and watch the video Sam's Path. I will cover this in depth. And it's time for our test. I wake up in the forest. Because, yeah, despite all of that being set up, we're not actually allowed to go through with the ritual at that point. It's kinda sad. But I've woken up the forest. I'm alone. I need to calm down. I need to focus. I need to think. I am smart. I had to be methodical about this. There was no use in panicking over the situation. The forest couldn't be that big, could it? Well, I mean, you say that, but it might be. I shook my head. No, nope. I had to find him if it was the last thing I do. This was the only way to get back the dragon's power, as difficult and unnecessary as it was. I took in a deep breath and looked around, trying to decide where to start. I started heading to the left of the tree burn marks. It was better than no direction at all, and it was a start. Each step I took became one filled with haste. I wanted to find Sam soon, and I didn't want to laze about this. And skip buttons returned as I wander aimlessly. Until I find my boy. Yay! Boy, you are going to let me kiss you. Mwah. I couldn't help but repeat the first words he had ever said to me. They had engraved themselves into my mind, and I was forever thankful for that day. Yeah, that day when he forced himself upon me the first time we met. Sam's lips curved into a smug smile, remembering the phrase perfectly.
Then hurry up and do it.
Aw. Callbacks. I grinned and bent down, capturing his lips with my own. My entire body felt complete as our lips touched. I didn't care if he took energy from me in it. I had found him. Yay, I win! Can I go home now?
Well done.
Hi, creepy dragon! Okay, Sam's being asked to walk into the figurative lion's den, or I guess in this case the literal dragon's den. I'm sure this is fine. Just, you got this, buddy. I believe in you. May the power of save state protect you. Let him do it. I had to trust him. He could do this. And he enters the cave. I'm waiting. Moments of silence ran by, filling my body with anxiousness. Was he safe? Was he okay? Well, there's not fire, so I think it's okay? At the sudden shout of a dragon's roar, I jumped and gripped to the cave wall, frightened to the core. It echoed into the silence and out of the mouth of the cave, but I became worried. What happened? What was going on? The faint echo of footsteps began to make their way towards me, despite me not being able to see into the dark. I hoped it was Sam. I prayed it was Sam unscathed. That's new. As Sam finally appeared out of the darkness, I gasped. Not at seeing him at last, but when I saw his eyes. They were swirling with red and green flames along with the whites of his eyes, while his emerald irises glowed in the shadows of the cave. Just from seeing him, I could tell he had changed and had become much more powerful. Yay, power! Sam? Sam grinned at me, stepping up in front of me and placing a hand on my head.
Sup, you doofus?
Dingbat. Get in here. I bit my lip and shook my head, pounding a fist into his chest before hugging him to me tightly.
Whoa! Hey, it's all right. I'm right here.
Yes, you are. Thank God you are.
May your battle be won, Lord of Dragons.
Oh, cool. So does that make me Lady of Dragons? I looked over Sam's shoulder to the darkness, seeing the faint outline of a large dragon's head fade away before my eyes. What the? Lord of Dragons? Before Sam could answer me, a light burst into the air, causing us to grip onto each other and shut our eyes. The warmth of the light seemed to comfort and ease our travel to wherever the dragon was sending us. Regardless, I clung to Sam tightly, desperate not to let go of him. Well, already this is going better than last time. Neither of us is on fire. When we opened our eyes at last, we were in the war room in the middle of the space with the rebel leaders, the incubi and their wives staring wide-eyed at us. Before anyone could move, however, Diana applauded at us, making everyone turn their heads towards her in confusion.
Well done, you two.
Thank you.
Wait, you knew where they were all along?
Yeah, she's cool. Kinda, sorta, ish.
She told us they were gone. She didn't say she didn't know where.
Uh-huh.
Listen, that's rude.
You're guests in her castle. Stop questioning her. That's rude.
At least they're safe now.
Yep. James, however, took a step towards Sam, peering at him. Sam's eyes had returned to normal, but I bet his aura was different now that he was Lord of Dragons, or whatever the dragon had called him.
At least you're safe now.
Aww. Give your brother a hug.
You were worried about him too, dude.
Exactly.
Don't ruin it. He has a reputation.
Let's ruin it, shall we, Sam?
He's much stronger than before now.
True. Sam gave James a smug look before holding out his hand.
Yeah, I'm alright now.
Aww. The two brothers shook hands, smiling at one another. I was happy to know that he was alright as well, giving him a squeeze. Diana, however, cleared her throat as the rebel leaders took off, catching everyone's attention.
Well, I hate to break up this little reunion, but we have a battle to fight tomorrow. We should rest.
Yeah, agreed. Time for sleep. Everyone was in agreement, especially my aching body. The run in the forest was not a kind one. As everyone began to leave, however, Diana called out,
Sam, a moment please. Alone.
No, I don't trust you. With him. I was worried about what Diana wanted to speak to Sam about alone. But I left the room with the rest of the group regardless. Diana seemed adamant. However, I remained at the door, listening in, 'cause I'm naughty.
So, you got me alone. What do you want?
A dangerous question. Diana, ... I peeked into the room to see Diana faced away from Sam, who had his arms crossed and was waiting for her to speak.
Tomorrow is the day we head out to fight him. We've been fighting for 10 years, and it will finally end.
Oh, thank God.
You're stalling. What is it?
Yeah, just spit it out already.
Do you know how many lives have been lost because of this war?
A lot? Sam finally lowered his arms and glared at the back of Diana's head. I glared as well. Why was she bringing this up? From her tone of voice, however, she seriously wanted an answer.
Hundreds? Thousands?
Millions?
9.5 million lives.
Yay, I'm closest, I win. Also, that's a very exact number for you to pull out of the ether like that. Sam's breath hitched in shock, as did mine. That many lives had been lost? Was this war truly as bloody as the rebel leader described it to be? Diana turned her head and stared into Sam's shocked gaze. Yeah, when you boys fled to Earth, things kinda went to shit here.
I had to send off and watch almost 9.5 million soldiers marching to their deaths. This world lost that many lives and had to take their blood and ashes into its soil as the battles we fought ended.
And that's heartbreaking. And this also explains in the first game why Diana acts as ruthlessly as she acts. She knows what's at stake here. Why she had to bring the boys home.
The Demon Lord, however, ravaged and slaughtered thousands of innocent lives in between, sending more people to their deaths just because they were in his way.
Yeah, my father-in-law's gonna die tomorrow.
Why are you telling me this?
Yeah, what's your I'm not seeing how this ties into anything.
All of those lives could have been spared.
Ha ha ha. Now turn the dagger counterclockwise. Diana turned around and glared hard at Sam, and, to my surprise, Sam froze in place.
Every single life that was lost during this war could have lived, could have been leading normal lives.
Yeah, but then I wouldn't get a fiancé, and that's what's important here. Sam, ... Sam didn't open his mouth. Why was he saying anything? I felt the need to step in, but I was stopped by the hand over my mouth.
Shh!
Damien. I looked up to see Damien covering my mouth and staring into the room intently. I didn't understand. Why was he hushing me? I looked back into the room as Diana began to step towards Sam.
My kingdom became the target of the Demon Lord's wrath, and I came back to the castle and my people screaming to the sky and burning in the flames.
Okay, I'm sorry? I don't know what that has to do with us?
My family was taken away from me, and there is nothing I can do to bring them back.
Sucks to be you. I'm sorry. I'm still not sure what you're asking of him, though. As Diana finally got close to Sam, leaning nose to nose with him, her eyes began to glow a cruel, cold, golden color, making me worry. Yeah, she's kind of powerful in her own way.
And it's all because of you, your brothers, and that human.
Uh-huh, yes. Although, I do have to ask, even if the boys had never come to Earth, and one of them had consented to marrying you, probably James, do you honestly think that would have kept the Demon Lord in check? Especially knowing how he acts. I honestly don't think it would have changed anything.
What?
Like lightning, Diana and Sam slammed into the far wall. However, instead of Diana against the wall, Sam was held against it with Diana's hand over his mouth. What surprised me the most was Sam staring at Diana with almost a shocked and fearful expression. What the hell? Sam gripped Diana's arms, but for some reason she didn't seem to be affected by his strength, like he was gripping stone. Where did her strength come from?
I want to get it through your head that this war is your fault. Yours and that human's fault.
Hey.
My parents, my sister, their lives were ripped away from this world because of you two. My kingdom burned, drowned in the flames of the Demon Lord because of you two.
No. No. Also, this is a conversation you should be having with both of us. And you're wrong. I honestly don't think the Demon Lord would have honored the marriage contract that to seal the two kingdoms in peace. I don't believe that for 5 seconds.
Your brothers were too enthralled with the human world to give a damn about where they came from, so I could have never convinced them to come back. You were my only hope, and you decided that the human was more important than the peace of this world. Because of your love for her, you stayed in the human world and caused so much death.
Okay. What happened to Diana, her family, and her kingdom is tragic. However, even in the verses where I don't end up romancing him, he doesn't come back. She never makes her pitch to any of the boys individually to come home, bad shit happening, kill your dad. This is... I get her, I understand and completely get her rage, but this is so not our fault. Struggle to step in, keep watching. You know what? I have heard enough. I am stepping in. I slightly thrashed in Damien's arms, but he tightened his hold on me. Keeping me quiet, I growled, knowing that I couldn't force myself out without giving both of our positions away, and continued to watch.
I want to burn that anger into your soul. Every single life that has been lost in this war to stop the Demon Lord was because of you and your love.
No. I get being angry, but lay your anger at the right person, the Demon Lord, not at us. Diana's hand slowly moved from Sam's mouth to his collar and gripped it, pulling him up onto his toes. However, as they continued to stare at each other, Sam's eyes began to glow a bright red and gold color, the mixture swirling in his green irises.
This war wasn't.
Yes, it was!
D, calm down. Diana quickly pulled Sam forward and slammed him back into the wall, causing him to jerk and wince, growling but continued to stare at Diana's angry expression. Around Diana's body was a dark purple aura, flickering like a wildfire with her screams.
If I had just killed that human and dragged you back, the world would not be suffering as it is! If that human wasn't alive, then the Demon Lord would not have done what he did!
You don't know that. You absolutely do not know that. And let's face it, the Demon Lord ain't honorable.
If you and your brothers had just stayed, this war would not have happened!
And again, you don't know that. I honestly don't think the Demon Lord would have honored the contract.
We're gonna end it!
Exactly.
We will! And when this war is over, I will never have to see you or that damn human ever again!
Cool. Good to know what our priorities are. I stared wide-eyed as Diana lowered her head down and slightly loosened her grip on Sam's collar. Her back was arced over, twitching and spasming as Diana gritted her teeth.
That is why you two must survive.
Huh? Who? Question mark? Exclamation mark. Question mark.
What?
What? Agreed. Thank you, Sam. Diana's voice weakened immensely, drenched in softened, choked sobs and whimpers.
You two need to survive this war. You need to protect her. And stay alive, no matter what.
Exactly. My heart dropped, but my mind was lost. Where was this coming from? I felt Damien loosen his grip over my mouth slightly, as I watched Sam straighten up and look down at Diana. The aura around Diana slowly began to die out with each word Diana choked out.
If either of you die, then this war will have happened for nothing. All of those lives, all of this destruction. The only reason we are here is because of you two.
Diana.
Diana looked up to Sam, a new hopeless pain burning in her eyes, as tears began to stream down her face.
Swear to me, Brute, that you will take responsibility for this and live, no matter what happens. Damn the war, damn my life. But you must swear that you understand and will take this responsibility.
You sound like you're not planning to survive the oncoming slaughter tomorrow. The world needs its queen, girl. Don't give up. My heart was hurting at the sight of Diana. She looked so broken, barely gripping to Sam and no longer forcing him against the wall behind him. Sam, however, pressed his lips together. What was he going to do? Sam stared at Diana's expression, slowly grabbed onto both of Diana's horns, and pulled Diana's head downward, pressing his forehead on top of her head.
I swear.
Aww. Also, stop touching her horns. Other verses, I know she finds that very fun. For the first and only time in my life, I watched as Diana crumpled to the ground onto her knees, with Sam following her down. Diana's hands released Sam and covered her face before she started sobbing violently into her palms. Sam kept his hands on her horns, pressing his forehead into the top of her head with closed eyes. Red energy from Diana's body slowly began to slide along her form and into Sam's head, slowly wrapping around him and fading away. I stepped away from the door and looked to Damien, seeing him look down at the ground in shame. Damien.
It is our fault, but we can't change the past.
No.
We can only end this.
Exactly. Which we're trying to do. I nodded, feeling the weight of the world rest on my soul. In a way, I felt completely responsible for this war ever happening. I loved Sam enough to keep him away from his duty, his reason for birth. I chained him to me, and I wouldn't let him go. I looked back to Diana, seeing her shaking and crying as Sam continued to remain still, holding her horns. The energy had vanished, and all that was left were the tears Diana was shedding. Did Sam take her energy?
Sam took away her rage.
Oh. He can do that now? Huh. That is cool. Wait, what? Keep up, girl. I looked up at Damien, confused. He was an incubus, so he was only able to take away sexual energy, right? He could take other forms of energy, too. Sam can do that? I mean, what?
Yes, actually. While he's an incubus, he's also part brute demon, just like the rest of us.
Right, your dad is a brute demon, not an incubus. Interesting. I did not know that was in their powerhouse. Neat. I was surprised. Sam was part brute demon? So were the boys? Damien chuckled softly, assumingly, because he read my mind, and nodded.
Our mothers were succubi. The demon lord, though, he's no incubus.
Ooh.
He's a brute demon who feeds on and uses rage energy.
Uh-huh. Cool. Where was this ability during the Malix fight, by the way? Damien looked into the room, losing part of his smile.
Sam, our brothers and I were born incubi, but Sam inherited more brute demon traits than the rest of us.
Uh-huh.
Thus, why he had the nicknames Brute and Monster.
Oh. Okay. That actually makes a lot of sense. Huh. That is honestly really interesting. This actually does explain a lot about Sam's character. Huh. You know what, I think with this little epiphany right here, I am going to cut the video. Hopefully next time we come back, we will be wrapping this up. My apologies for this being a little on the shorter side, but with sound quality being what it is, in addition to... I don't have that much time left to record today before people start coming in. I do not want to get into the middle of a scene where I can't really break easily. So, until next, tak likatelak hedo.